Hi, hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Karina, and today we're going to be using the prompt cards to choose my April TBR. I can't believe we're here once again to curate another TBR together. April's exciting because it is my birthday month. Happy birthday to all of my fellow April babies. If you celebrate a birthday in April, happy birthday. I hope you have a fantastic celebration. I'm excited to see what is going to be on the list for the month of April. As usual, before we get into any of the prompt cards, I'm going to go ahead and just share some of my mandatory reads for the month ahead. So first up on the list, I have the SWOONY Reader's Pick, which thankfully I was able to select because it is my birthday month. So I'm kind of forcing everyone to pick up one of my favorite authors. So in the month of April, the SWOONY readers are going to be picking up Across the Vanishing Sky by Catherine Cowles. So in this story, we're following Brayden, who moves to Starlight Grove in search of answers about her missing friend. And on her quest to search for the truth, there are people that would rather keep those truths hidden. So she's kind of on the cusp of danger, but thankfully her next door neighbor, who is a morally gray hacker, is kind of looking out for her in more ways than one, I'm sure. But I'm so excited to be picking this up. This is a single mom romantic suspense, which Catherine Cowles can write a romantic suspense. So I'm very excited to be picking this one up, and I hope you decide to join us. We are going to be having our sprints on Friday the 10th at 6:30 EST, and the live show discussion is going to be on Friday the 24th at 6:30 EST. Both are going to be here on my channel. I have all things SWOONY readers related down below, and if you want to join us over on the Discord, we're going to be having our monthly movie watch. And one thing we're starting to do are these mini readathons each month, which is basically a day full of sprints. So if you want to participate, we'd love to have you. Feel free to join us over on the Discord, and I'm just looking forward to what the month of April has in store for us. Next up on this list is for the SWOONY SCONE Society. For the month of April, we are wrapping up the Wilmot Sister series by Chloe Leese, and that ends off with Once Smitten, Twice Shy. Okay, this one says, star-crossed lovers learn that practicing romance leads to the perfect happy ending. Okay, is this fake dating? Ooh. Okay. So we are following the third sister, Juliet, who had kind of a messed up situation in book one. So I'm excited to see how she kind of bounces back from that and finds her love after all, because she deserves it. She does. This cover is so cute. I love that we're kind of having a pink little theme for these first two books. But I'm looking forward to kind of wrapping this up with the ladies, and hopefully it ends off on a good note. You'll find all of the SWOONY SCONE ladies down below, and I hope you decide to join us. Hi. Hey, buddy. I have a little co-star for the time being. Before we jump into the April planning, we are going to do a little recap to see how the month of March was for me. So for the month of March, I did not have a challenge, but I decided to, add on an extra prompt. So instead of the usual 5, these are the 6 prompts that were selected for me. And these were the 6 books that I selected for each prompt. Y'all know I'm such a mood reader, so I did have to make a few switches. And unfortunately, I am still reading one of the books and will not be getting to the last one. I know, I'm so sad about it. You know what that means? Since I did not complete my TBR, I will have to spin the challenge wheel. It's totally fine. Like, we're gonna take on the challenge like a champ. I think I have since added a few to the wheel. Couldn't tell you which ones. I could not tell you which ones. So let's see what we're gonna get. That's loud. Oh, book of the month book. Well, okay. It took me by surprise because I forgot I changed the sound. That is a newer one because I haven't gotten that one yet. So book of the month book is perfect because I already have a book in mind, because it is a buddy read that I'm doing with some of my very dear friends. And the one that's going on my TBR is You Did Nothing Wrong by C.G. Drews. I'm so excited. This is their adult debut. I've been wanting to pick this up ever since I found out about it. Okay, it says the walls are closing in on her perfect new life. As single mother, Elodie's life has become a fairy tale. She's met Bren, equal parts golden retriever, devoted and sinfully handsome. He's whisked her and her autistic son Jude away to the crumbling family house he's renovating. She has a new husband, a new home, and a new baby on the way. Everything is perfect. Until Jude claims he can hear voices in the walls. He says their renovations are hurting the house. Even Elodie can't ignore it. Something strange is going on. The question is it with the house or with her son? And what is Elodie hiding? Okay, yes, I'm so excited. It feels like a little bit cheating, but I'm taking it. I'm taking it and I'm running with it. I'm so happy to have this one on the TBR. Now that we have all of that out of the way, it's time for the fun. We're gonna pick our 5 prompts, and before we choose our prompts, we're gonna need the handy dandy TBR cards. In case this is your first time watching one of my TBR videos, hi, hello, welcome. I do load up the cart with things already on my hopefuls list for the month. I have some subscription box, or quite a few subscription box books on here, and a lot of buddy reads, kind of things like that I want to pick up ASAP. I do try to select a few options for each of the prompts. It's all dependent on what the card is. Before we actually pick the books and the prompts, I like to kind of set some manifestations in hopes that the prompt cards and the TBR gods, you know, work with me to hopefully get things on the list. First up, I think I want to manifest a 5-star prediction. In the month of April, since it is my birthday month, I know I keep saying it, I'm so sorry. I want all the 5 stars I can get. Let's say something to help me achieve my goals that I put together at the start of the year. Not gonna lie to you, it's not looking good. So if I can force myself to kind of tackle one of the goals, help me achieve one of those goals in the month of April, I think that would be fantastic. The last thing I want to manifest is a subscription box book. I probably put it on every manifestation, but I just need to make sure I'm prioritizing these sub boxes. Otherwise, I don't need them. You know what I mean? So we're gonna manifest picking 1 or 2 at least. Sounds good. We got our manifestations. So let's shuffle these bad boys up. I do want to preface our card pulling by saying I think from now on I want to leave the prompts that were picked the month prior out of the deck to try and eliminate those repeats, because sometimes I feel like we're seeing the same prompts over and over. I don't want to see what else the deck has because there's so many and I feel like I'm pulling the same few. So let's see what prompt number 1 is going to be. That's a lot of yapping, I apologize. Okay, let's go with this one. Oh, if I can grab it, there we go. So we have a book. Hold on. A book you bought for the cover. I'm going to also interpret this as a book that I think has a pretty cover, because I don't feel like I do any cover buys, but we're going to utilize the prompt. So we're kind of interpreting it differently than what it says. I feel like any special edition is going to be a little bit cheating, no? But I'm going to grab it anyways. I'm going to grab this one. I think I went off the rails with this, but I have 3 options. So a book I bought for the cover, or a book that has a cover that I like, a book that has a stunning cover in my eyes. This first one is a book that I'm intrigued by the cover, also because I've read from the author and I kind of know he's kind of a little bit wacky and funny, and that could be a good vibe for April. But the first option I have is Operation Bounce House by Matt Dinniman. It is his newest standalone sci-fi. Just look at these little killer fighting robot looking thingies. I don't know. But yeah, I'm very intrigued by what this story has to offer. The next 2 are subscription box books. The next option I have is Graceless Heart by Miss Isabel Ibanez. I've not read anything from her yet, but this Fairloot edition, stunning. The last one, and the one that I think I am gonna go ahead and choose because I'm just so intrigued by it and I want to read it so badly. That book is Half City by Kate Golden. It's just gorgeous, okay? She's stunning. She's stunning. And I'm gonna choose that. On the back it says, keep your daggers sharp and your wits even sharper. Like, hello, thank you. I want to read you, yeah. It says, when Viv enrolls in a covert academy for demon hunters, surviving classes is only the beginning as deadly threats rise and an alluring demon blurs the line between enemy and ally. Okay, do you guys want to see the inside too? Okay. So here is the naked hardcover. Lots of foiling details. Stunning. Here's the back. Gorgeous little end pages. And a fun little scene. Looks like a Halloween scene or something. Look it. I'm trying to get the Claws of Fairloot out of me, but it's just so hard because they come out with editions like this. Yeah, excited to have this one on the list. I kind of, you know, skewed the prompt in my favor, but yeah, picking that one. Prompt number 1, book number 1 selected. So let's go ahead and see what prompt number 2 will be. Oh. Okay. Prompt number 2, we have the newest book, hold on, the newest book on your shelf. Okay. Okay, there's one answer because I did just receive my Illumicrate for the month of March today, and I fear that's what I'm gonna have to pick. I don't fear because I'm like excited, I want to read it. The only thing is it's not on the cart, however it is on the shelf right behind. So we're gonna go ahead and grab it. Prompt number 2 is exciting. I got the newest book on your shelf, and you know, who doesn't love to read something that was just recently hauled? And lucky for me, I received my Illumicrate book today as of filming, and that book is Aisha by Soraya Ba'azoui. I did listen to the audiobook to hopefully pronounce that correctly, and I'm hoping I did that justice. But another subscription box book. Gorgeous. Oh my gosh. Okay, just the first paragraph of the synopsis says the Portuguese flag has been planted across Morocco, its empire ruling with an iron fist. But eventually, all empires must fall. Aisha tells the tale of Morocco's warrior goddess, her strange magic, vicious rebellion, and devastating romance. This is a story of female rage and lesser known myth that will sear you to the bone. Okay, and pages. It's the start. It's a different scene. Oh my gosh, let's look at this naked hardcover. Wow. I don't know who that is or what it is, but it is kind of graphic. Yeah, just she's holding something that I had to cover, but dang. Female rage, let's go. So excited about this. I was not expecting that naked hardcover. I wish I could show you, but I fear like that was not okay to show. It's gonna have some mythology, some female rage, and I'm so excited. All right, newest book on my shelf. Thank you, Illumicrate. Very excited to have this one on the TBR. We have 2 really awesome sounding books on the TBR. Let's see what prompt number 3 is going to be today. Oh, hold on. There we go. That was strange, but it's fine. Okay, prompt number 3. We have, okay, chill, a science fiction book. Okay, sci-fi. A sci-fi. Interesting. Okay, we're going to talk about 2 options. Okay, one I've already showed you, which is Operation Bounce House by Matt Dinneman. The second option I want to talk about is one that I picked up from Aardvark, funny enough, because today's the 1st, so they dropped their selections. And one of them I picked is classified as a sci-fi. It's actually a romantic science fiction thriller, so it still counts. Okay, so my other option I have, or will have soon enough, is Love Galaxy by Sierra Branham. It's a reality TV dating show, much like The Bachelor. Follows a character named Temmie, who is a young trash collector stuck at a dead-end job on a garbage planet, and she finds herself with a golden ticket she never expected. The opportunity to be cast on an interstellar dating show starring the brother and sister heirs to the galactic empire. And it's actually sapphic, so instead of falling for the prince, she's gonna fall for the princess. I also really love the tagline and this cover, like, are you kidding me? But the tagline says, here for the right treasons. That just sounds so freaking fun. All right, so 2 really good options for prompt number 3, which is a science fiction book. However, I think the smartest thing for me to choose, even though I really so badly want to select Love Galaxy, I think the smartest thing I could do is to select Operation Bounce House by Matt Dinniman. Okay, so this one says, what happens when you become your planet's final boss? All colonist Oliver Lewis ever wanted to do was run the family ranch with his sister, maybe play a gig or two with his band, and keep his family's aging fleet of intelligent agriculture bots ticking as long as possible. He figures it will be a good thing when the transfer gate finally opens all the way and restores instant travel and full communication between Earth and his planet, New Sonora. But there's a complication. Even though the settlers were promised they'd be left in peace, Earth's government now has other plans. The colossal Apex Industries is hired to commence an eviction action, but maximizing profits will always be Apex's #1 priority. Why spend money printing and deploying AI soldiers when they can turn it into a game? Sick. Why not charge bored Earthers for the opportunity to design their own war machines and remotely pilot them from the comfort of their homes? The game is called Operation Bounce House. Well, that sounds interesting. You know, I'm not mad to have this one on the TBR. It kind of adds a little bit of a variety. And you know, I have only read the first 2 in the Dungeon Crawler Carl series and know that his writing is just so fun and his storytelling just infused with humor, yet really hard-hitting topics. You know, another subscription box book on the TBR, and I'm actually really excited for it. So 3 out of the 5 prompts done. Let's see what prompt number 4 has in store for us. That was a quick one. So prompt number 4, we have a book with a journey or a quest. Okay, a book with a journey or quest. I feel like this one is always a little bit tougher to select options for. I'm trying to find options for prompt number 4, which is a book with a quest or a journey. No, a book with a journey or a quest. Took so long, my battery died. But I do have 3 options that were on the cart. It just took, you know, a little bit more research than I actually anticipated. So option number 1, I have Kill the Beast by Sarah Swift. There's some sort of a quest involved. It says The Witcher meets Howl's Moving Castle in this debut original fairy tale of revenge, redemption, and friendship. A heartwarming cozy fantasy with a dash of gritty adventure. Option number 1. Option number 2 that I had on the cart is The Everlasting by Alexi Harrow. Only have heard amazing things about this, so I do want to pick it up sooner than later. Is April the month? I don't know. This is a moving and genre-defying quest about the lady knight whose legend built a nation, and the cowardly historian sent back through time to make sure she plays her part, even if it breaks his heart. Sounds good. The last option I have, and the one I think I am going to select, is The Second Death of Law by V.L. Bovalino. In a little nutshell, it says, Gray Flint serves as blade and healer to her mage Kier, wielding magical powers as the heir of law. Their quest to protect an enemy's child tests their bond and forces difficult choices. So, quest check, journey check. I'm happy about it. I'm happy about it. Okay, so this TBR is looking great so far. Very fantasy forward. I'm not mad at it, but let's see if prompt number 5 is going to switch it up. The way each book chosen is from a subscription box so far is funny. Okay, prompt number 5. Let's see. Oh, we're going to stop there. She was poking out. So prompt number 5, we have a book by a debut author. Love that. Love that so much. I have some options and then a last minute addition at the end. The first option I have is The Bright Years by Sarah Damoff. I know there's a new book coming out by the author this year. I know this is like a hard-hitting novel and people talk about it in such high regard, so I'm very curious. I'm just gonna read the end bit of the synopsis. It says, told from 3 intimate points of view, The Bright Years is a tender, true-to-life novel that explores the impact each generation in a family torn apart by tragedy, but over time, restored by the power of grace and compassion. So option number 1, kind of a switch up of genres. Option number 2, I have another Fairloo book, but I have Weaving Shaw by Heba Al-Wasiti. I'm so sorry, I don't know how to say her name. I know this is a gothic fantasy. It says, gifted with the ability to see the dead, a young woman is drawn into a deadly pact and a journey to a cursed estate where ghosts linger, secrets fester, and danger awaits in every shadow. Wow, okay. Option number 3, I have You with a View by Jessica Joyce. I read The X-Files, absolutely loved it. Have not read this one yet, so I figured, you know, we'd throw it in the ring as an option. This one is about 2 former high school enemies must reunite for a road trip, inspired by their grandparents' broken engagement. I'm not a super big fan of like road trip stories, so we'll see about that. And then the last one I have is a library book, actually. This was a book of the month selection earlier this year, but I did not want to buy it without knowing if I would like it because the cover is so funky. It is, I can't lie about it. I was just kind of intrigued by it. And when I saw it at the library, I was like, you know, let's give it a try. The last option I have is Lost Lambs by Madeline Cash. I mean, just look at the cover. It's like in crayon and yeah, it just like doesn't do anything for me. I know it takes place in a small town and that's kind of it. There's a lot of drama, some weird stuff going on. I was intrigued. I can't help it. I think I can eliminate Lost Lambs just because the others I own and I have a little bit more interest in. So that leaves us with another fantasy, contemporary fiction, and a romance. Okay. I think I'm gonna eliminate Weaving Shawl only because I already have such chunky books and a lot of fantasy on there already. Maybe next month. Okay, so that leaves us with You with a View and The Bright Years. Okay, for debut, I think I'm gonna go ahead and choose The Bright Years by Sarah Damoff because I really have been wanting to read this one for so long and I'm just intrigued. I think this follows a family with someone that suffers from alcohol addiction. And that's kind of all. I don't really know much about it and I think I'm gonna keep it that way. But I'm excited because this kind of breaks up the heavier books already on the TBR. Prompt number 5 secured. Let me just grab all of the books that were selected and we're gonna do a little recap. So we started things off with a challenge wheel spin that led me to reading a book of the month book. For that one, I selected You Did Nothing Wrong by C.G. Drews. The first prompt card that I got was a book I bought for the cover that I kind of skewed to fit a book that I think has a stunning cover. And for that one, I selected Half City by Kate Golden. The next prompt I got was the newest book on your shelf. And for this one, I selected Aisha by Soraya Ba'azoui. Then I got a science fiction book, and for this one I selected Operation Bounce House by Matt Dittman. For a book with a journey or quest, I selected The Second Death of Locke by V.L. Bobolino. The very last prompt I got was a book by a debut author, and for this one I selected The Bright Years by Sarah Damoff. The last order of business before we head out is to kind of go over what I selected for the Buzzword reading challenge this year that Kayla from Books and Lala puts together. For the month of April, for the title, it's Ordinal Numbers. I selected The Second Death of Locke, second being the ordinal number. And then for the cover challenge, it is a book with accessories on it. And I am gonna go ahead and just use Once Smitten, Twice Shy. She does have an earring. I know you can't really tell very well, but it's there, I promise you. All right, so here is the final stack of required reading for me for the month of April. Please let me know if you've read any of these. I'd love to hear all of your thoughts down below. I'm feeling very hopeful about a 5-star being in this stack. My fingers are crossed, my hopes are high, and I am just very eager to jump into the stack. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me today as I selected the books for my April reading list. I'd love to hear what's on your TBR for the month of April. All the amazing, lovely creators I mentioned and anything SWOONY readers related you'll find down below. If you're still watching and you want to let me know, feel free to leave any of the pink flower emojis for Once Smitten, Twice Shy. I hope you have a lovely day, afternoon, or night whenever you're watching, and I'll see you again soon in another video. Until next time,